4% of kids carry either a gun, knife, or club to school every day. This means that for every 100 children, 4 of them are armed, but it only takes 1 to hurt or kill many. 5.6 of kids reported they don't go to school for 1 or more days out of a school year due to fear of their safety at school or on the way to or from school. These are disturbing numbers to anyone, but especially parents or caregivers. So how can we define youth violence? Youth violence occurs when young people between the ages of 10 and 24 years intentionally use physical force or power to threaten or harm others. Youth violence is a significant public health problem that affects thousands of young people each day and in turn their families, schools, and communities. Examples include fights, bullying, threats with weapons, and gang-related violence. The CDC has been developing and compiling data since 1992 in regards to youth violence. They publicly update their analysis for our current youth violence. Here are a few important findings. Most school-associated violent deaths occur during transition times. This means immediately before or after school. Violent deaths are more likely to occur at the start of each semester. Nearly 50% of homicide perpetrators gave some type of warning signal, such as making a threat or leaving a note prior to the event. Firearms used in school-associated homicides and suicides came primarily from the perpetrator's home, from their family, or from other friends or relatives. This last statistic is something attention should be drawn to. This is something that teachers, schools, parents, and communities can control and help prevent youth violence. So what are the common warning signals that you can look for in a child that could cause violence in school or outside of school? And what tools can we use to prevent violence from happening? It's been found that individually, if a child has hyperactive or learning disorders, poor behavioral control, history of violent victimization, high emotional stress, or exposure to violence and conflict within the family are more likely to cause violence. The family itself, if they use an authoritarian child-rearing attitude, or if they have harsh, lax, or inconsistent disciplinary principles, this will also incline a child to be more violent. Low parental involvement, low parental income or education, poor family functioning, or poor supervision and monitoring of children also add to these effects. Some things within the community that impact a child and could create aggression are diminished economic opportunities, high concentrated poor residents, high level of family disruption, low levels of community participation, and socially disorganized neighborhoods. So knowing these factors individually, as a family, and as a community, how can we take that and turn it into tools to prevent anything further from happening? For families, the ability to create an atmosphere for a child to talk openly with their parents helps a lot. Being open and giving them that confidence that they can come to their parents whenever they need help with certain fears or problems that they're having at school will establish a foundation for them to handle conflict in a more productive way. Doing activities with your children, setting expectations for your children and their schoolwork, being present either when your child wakes up or when your child goes to sleep, or when they go off to school, being present for at least one of those three things does make a big impact on them. Get your children involved in social activities and use constructive strategies for coping with problems. For schools themselves, for the faculty, and this can either extend farther into the community, it's good to establish a commitment to the school and everything that it stands for. Beyond that, you should have the children develop a relationship with non-deviant peers, if possible. You should also have children get involved in groups that don't encourage antisocial behavior. In the same token, you should have these children get involved in as many social activities as possible. Make sure that the school is acclimating to intense supervision, clear behavior rules, consistent negative reinforcement for aggression, and engagement of parents and teachers. Although it can be overwhelming and scary knowing all of the media that you see and all of the statistics that we've gone over, there is a positive side to it. From kidshelp.org, they affirm that the crime in U.S. schools that involve physical harm have been declining since the early 1900s. According to the CDC, fewer than 1% of homicides among school-aged children happen on school grounds or on the way to or from school. And the vast majority of students will never experience violence at school or in college. That being said, a little is still too much. So as parents, caregivers, and mentors, we can help with violence prevention by talking openly with our kids, by being aware of their school involvement, and when news stories pertaining to youth violence are on the media, are online, are on the TV, make sure to talk to your children and discuss everything about it with them. Do this calmly and honestly, but at an emotional level that is appropriate for that particular child. Encourage your kids to talk openly about their emotions and fears. And collectively, our society is sure to continue the decline of youth violence.